The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm, golden glow over the backyard where the family reunion was in full swing. Laughter and the sizzle of the barbecue filled the air as I navigated through the lively crowd. Hugs and greetings exchanged. I felt a sense of comfort and nostalgia. As I approached the gathering, I spotted David, my cousin, standing near a table adorned with various dishes. Memories of our childhood flashed before me, the games we played, the laughter we shared. But as he turned toward me, the transformation was impossible to ignore. The boy I once knew had blossomed into a striking young man. Isabella. David's eyes lit up with recognition, and he enveloped me in a warm embrace. It's been way too long. You look fantastic, I chuckled, feeling a subtle flush on my cheeks. You're not looking too bad yourself, David. It's like you've stepped out of a movie or something. He grinned, a touch of embarrassment coloring his features. Well, you know, puberty does wonders, they say. We both laughed, the camaraderie of family rekindling effortlessly. As we chatted, catching up on the years that had kept us apart, I couldn't help but notice the easiness of our connection. Despite the years and the changes, the familiarity remained, like an old melody playing in the background. Remember the time we got lost in the woods during one of these reunions? David reminisced, his eyes sparkling with the shared memories. How could I forget? I replied, a smile tugging at my lips. We thought we were on some grand adventure, only to have Uncle Robert find us near the garden shed. Our laughter echoed in the air, a testament to the bond we once shared. Little did I know that this reunion would unravel a different kind of adventure, one that would challenge the boundaries of family ties and set in motion a series of events that would alter the course of the night. The evening wore on, and the backyard transformed into a lively dance floor. The rhythmic beats of music mingled with laughter, creating an atmosphere of celebration. Despite my best efforts to immerse myself in the festivities, my attention continued to gravitate toward David, my cousin-turned captivating stranger. As I danced with Lucas, my boyfriend, I couldn't shake the magnetic pull drawing me towards David. Laura, my best friend, sidled up to me, a teasing glint in her eyes. Isabella, spill the beans. Who's the mystery man that has you so entranced? I feigned nonchalance. Oh, just a cousin. Nothing to get worked up about. Laura arched an eyebrow, her mischievous smile widening. Cousin, huh? Well, from the way you're looking at him, I'd say he's more like a long-lost love. Shaking my head, I tried to dismiss her observations. You've got quite the imagination, Laura. It's nothing like that. But as the night progressed, so did the intensity of my internal struggle. Lucas, oblivious to my internal turmoil, continued to engage in conversations with relatives, leaving me to navigate the emotional storm alone. Amidst the laughter and the dance, David appeared beside me. Care for a dance, Isabella? His voice held a hint of playfulness, and his eyes sparkled with an invitation. I hesitated for a moment before accepting, the music enveloping us as we moved in sync. The connection we once had as children seemed to resurface with newfound force. As we twirled and swayed, Laura's earlier words echoed in my mind, and the weight of the unspoken tension between David and me grew palpable. After the dance, David leaned in, his voice a whisper against the backdrop of the music. You're not just my cousin, Isabella. There's something more, isn't there? Caught off guard, I stammered. I don't know what you're talking about, David. He flashed a knowing smile, leaving me flustered and confused in the wake of our shared moment. The dance floor continued to pulse with energy, but my thoughts were consumed by the unraveling desires and the unspoken connection that lingered between David and me. The night wore on, the music vibrating through the air and the atmosphere charged with a mix of excitement and uncertainty. Unable to resist the pull, I found myself drawn to David once more. As we engaged in conversation about our lives and shared memories, the complicity that had defined our childhood rekindled with newfound intensity. The party reached its peak, and amidst the pulsating beats, I danced with Lucas, attempting to distract myself from the thoughts that lingered. However, my gaze kept returning to David, his presence a magnetic force I couldn't escape. Finally, the moment arrived when David and I had to dance together. As our eyes met, a spark ignited, and the world around us blurred into a surreal dreamscape. The music's rhythm guided us, but it was the unspoken tension between us that dictated each movement. Each step brought us closer, and it felt as if the air itself was charged with an undeniable energy. I can't believe I'm dancing with my cousin like this, I thought, my heartbeat drowning out the music. His eyes held a mysterious allure, and with each movement, the line between familiarity and forbidden desire blurred. The dance became an intricate dance of emotions, a silent conversation that spoke volumes. Every touch, every glance, fueled the growing tension between us. In that moment, I felt a connection that transcended family ties, and the confusing attraction to my own cousin became a tumultuous reality. As the dance concluded, David and I returned to mingle with the other guests, our gazes lingering in a silent acknowledgement of the forbidden passion that had ignited between us. I tried to maintain a facade of normalcy, but my mind remained consumed by the magnetic pull that threatened to unravel the fabric of familial bonds. The night air hung heavy with unspoken words as David and I left the dance floor, each step echoing the weight of our shared secret. We exchanged no words, only knowing glances that spoke of the forbidden passion we had just indulged in. The party continued around us, oblivious to the turmoil we carried in our hearts. In my room, I sank onto the bed, the silence amplifying the chaos within. The familiar surroundings offered no comfort as I grappled with the realization of what had transpired. Guilt settled over me like a heavy shroud, and the room felt like a confessional where secrets lingered in the air. Soon after, a soft knock on the door disrupted the deafening silence. Opening it cautiously, I found David standing there, his eyes reflecting the same turmoil I felt within. Without words, he entered, and we settled in silence. The air between us crackled with tension as we navigated the uncharted territory of our forbidden encounter. "Isabella," he finally spoke, his voice barely audible. "We can't let anyone know about this." "It was a mistake." I nodded in agreement, the weight of reality crashing down. We had succumbed to a moment of passion, a lapse in judgment that threatened to unravel the fabric of our family. The unspoken understanding lingered between us. We needed to bury this secret deep within, shielding it from prying eyes and wagging tongues. As he left the room, the silence wrapped around me once again, and I lay there, staring at the ceiling, grappling with the consequences of our actions. The air in the room felt heavy, burdened by the weight of the secret we now shared. Each passing moment intensified the internal struggle, leaving me torn between the allure of forbidden desire and the moral compass that screamed for redemption. Days passed like a haze, and the facade of normalcy became my shield against prying eyes. The sun rose each day as if nothing had changed, but within me, a storm raged. Lucas, unaware of the turmoil beneath the surface, continued to plan our future together, blissfully ignorant of the secret that threatened to shatter it all. I smiled at family gatherings, engaged in conversations, and even laughed, but the weight of guilt and confusion persisted. The world around me seemed to move in slow motion, as if time itself had become entangled in the consequences of that forbidden night. Lucas, ever the attentive boyfriend, held my hand, blissfully unaware of the tangled web of emotions within. I tried to reciprocate, to be the girlfriend he deserved, but the echoes of the forbidden passion with David haunted me like a ghost. The internal conflict escalated as I grappled with the thrill of that intense encounter and the guilt that gnawed at my conscience. How could I betray Lucas, the man I had built dreams with, for a fleeting moment of passion with my own cousin? One evening, as I sat alone in my room, the weight of the secret threatened to suffocate me. The guilt, like a relentless shadow, followed me everywhere. The laughter I shared with friends felt like a betrayal, a cruel joke that only I was in on. I questioned every smile, every moment of joy, wondering if I deserved any of it. The night haunted me with restless dreams, and waking up became a daunting task. Reality crashed over me like a relentless wave, bringing with it the memories of that forbidden encounter. The tangled mess of emotions left me gasping for breath, drowning in the consequences of my actions. Lucas left for work early, a kiss on my forehead and a whispered "I love you" echoing in the room. As the door closed behind him, the reality of my situation settled in. The normality I clung to was a fragile facade, and the weight of the secret threatened to shatter it all. The day passed, marked by a fade of normalcy, but inside, my world had turned upside down. I was lost in a maze of emotions, torn between the thrill of the forbidden and the loyalty I owed to Lucas. The sun set, casting long shadows that mirrored the turmoil within, and as darkness fell, I knew that the conflict within my heart was far from over.